You ever have one of those Saturdays that start off normal, coffee brewing, dog at your feet, sun sliding through the blinds, and then suddenly it feels like you're living in a bad reality show? That was me, one quiet morning in Willow Creek Estates, a neighborhood so obsessed with perfection it could make Stepford blush. I'd just poured a cup of coffee when there was a knock at the door. Standing there was this guy, mid-30s, wearing a cheap uniform that looked straight off Amazon, arms crossed like he was auditioning for a cop movie. "Morning," he said, flashing a plastic badge that caught the light just right to look important. "Name's Brad. I'm with Neighborhood Compliance. We've had some reports about your property." I blinked at him. "Reports?" He nodded, checking a clipboard like it held the nuclear codes. "Unauthorized structures, possible safety violations. I'll need to come inside and inspect." Now, I don't know about you, but when someone in knockoff tactical pants tells me they need to inspect my house, my brain immediately goes, yeah, no chance. So I told him just that. "Listen, man," I said, "this isn't a police warrant, and this ain't your jurisdiction. So how about you step off my porch before this gets embarrassing?" That's when she appeared, Nancy Fuller, head of the HOA board, walking up the driveway like she owned every blade of grass in the cul-de-sac. Sunglasses bigger than her personality, clipboard clutched like a royal scepter. "Mr. Cole," she said, dragging my name out like it had offended her. "Let's not make this difficult. We've seen suspicious activity at your property, people coming and going, loud noises, that large shed in your backyard. We believe you may be operating a business without HOA approval." I couldn't help but laugh. "You mean my brother helping me fix the damn shed? That's your big case." Her lips pressed into a line sharp enough to cut glass. "We'll be filing a formal complaint if you don't comply." I didn't even answer. I just whistled once, short and low. A second later, Max, my retired K9 partner, trotted up beside me. 90 pounds of fur and focus, eyes locked on the guy in the fake badge. Brad froze like someone hit pause. Nancy tried to regain her composure, but her voice cracked. "This is intimidation." "No," I said, leaning against the doorframe. "This is me protecting my home." They left after that, muttering something about the board. I shut the door, gave Max a pat, and said, "Guess we're not done with these people yet." By Monday morning, I'd pulled up every HOA bylaw I could find and highlighted every line they'd twisted to justify their nonsense. I'm not a man who looks for fights, but I don't back down from one I didn't start. So I drove down to the HOA office, a sad beige building stuffed between a dry cleaner and a vape shop, and asked to see whoever thought they had the right to send fake cops to my door. Out walked the president, Ken Roberts, mortgage banker by day, self-proclaimed emperor of the cul-de-sac by night. He gave me that practiced grin politicians use when they know they've screwed up. "Jake," he said, "I heard there was a misunderstanding." "No misunderstanding," I replied. "Your people tried to enter my home. That's illegal, and I'm making sure it never happens again." Ken raised his hands. "We had a report. Neighbors concerned about noise, traffic, barking. We have to investigate." "Investigate, not trespass," I said. "You're not law enforcement, and your bylaws don't give you that authority." He sighed and gestured toward a conference room. Inside was a file already labeled with my name. I could feel my blood simmering. He flipped through the papers and said, "Some board members think you're running dog training from your property. That's against policy." I leaned forward. "I'm not running anything. But even if I were, you don't get to send fake officers to intimidate people. You crossed a line." Ken's face tightened. "What do you want?" "I want a written statement admitting that what happened was unauthorized," I said. "And I want the name of whoever sent that fake guard." He hesitated, but I already knew. I had the footage, Nancy pointing at my backyard, giving Brad orders. When I showed him the photo, his jaw locked. "She wasn't acting under board approval," he said quietly. "Then she impersonated board authority," I said, "which makes it criminal." From there, things snowballed fast. I filed a trespassing report with the county clerk and sent the footage to my old friend Alicia from City Code Enforcement. Within a few days, the city sent a letter demanding proof that Brad was a licensed security officer. Spoiler, he wasn't. Then came the whispers, neighbors stopping me on walks, saying Nancy had been spreading rumors about me. One woman, Maria, even printed out screenshots from the HOA group chat. Nancy accusing me of running a dangerous K9 operation and demanding emergency action. That was it. I went to the next HOA meeting, folder in hand. The place was packed. Nancy sat at the front, smug until she saw me walk in. "I'd like to address the board," I said. Ken sighed. "Go ahead, Jake." "Last Saturday, I began. Nancy Fuller and an unlicensed security guard attempted to enter my property without notice, using fabricated claims. I have the footage, witnesses, and confirmation from the city that these actions violated state law." The room buzzed with whispers. Nancy straightened, her face tightening. "Furthermore," I continued, "she's been spreading false accusations about me and my dog. I have proof." Ken tried to calm the room. "We'll review this." "You've had time," I cut in. "Either you act now, or I take it to court." Then, something unexpected happened. People started speaking up. An older man said the fake guard had harassed him about flower pots. A mom said he threatened her kid over a skateboard ramp. Suddenly, I wasn't the only one standing. Nancy tried to fight back, claiming she was protecting the community. But Ken looked like a man watching his house of cards collapse. He called for a vote. Every hand went up. Nancy was suspended. I wish that was the end of it. But a few nights later, around 2 a.m., Max started growling. On my camera feed, I saw a figure crouched by my electrical box, trying to cut power. I hit the speaker button and said, "You've got 10 seconds to leave before the cops show up. You're on 3 cameras." The guy bolted, but left behind a tool pouch, with the same logo as Nancy's fake security firm. Alicia traced the company registration. It was a shell business under Nancy's brother's name. Fraud, intimidation, the whole mess. By the end of the week, detectives were sitting in my kitchen, flipping through evidence. When the city called an emergency HOA meeting, it felt like a storm breaking. The place was packed tighter than a Sunday church. I laid it all out. Fake licenses, payment ledgers, camera footage. When I projected the check records showing Nancy paying her own security company, you could hear the air leave the room. Nancy stood up, shaking. "This is slander," she yelled. Ken just sighed. The detectives confirmed everything. The crowd turned. Hands went up again. Suspension became removal. Someone whispered, "About time." Within days, Nancy was arrested, fraud, unlawful surveillance, misuse of HOA funds. Ken resigned. The HOA was dissolved, replaced by a temporary committee. They asked me to join. I said no. I'd had enough of board politics. But I did help them draft a new homeowners' rights guide, clear and public, with a hotline for abuse of power. Months later, when her case went to court, I was called to testify. She looked smaller, no sunglasses, no arrogance, just tired. I told the truth, every part of it. The intimidation, the trespassing, the fake authority. The judge sentenced her to 3 years, parole after 20 months if she repaid damages. After that, things got quiet. Neighbors waved more, smiled easier. Kids played outside without someone measuring their fence height. Max and I took long walks again. One evening, Maria stopped by with cookies, said her daughter finally slept through the night now that the patrol cars were gone. I sat on the porch after she left, the sun fading behind the trees, Max lying next to me, head on his paws, calm as ever. "You did good, partner," I said. He didn't wag, just sighed, like he already knew. You know, looking back, I think that's what broke the spell. People realize power only works if you let it scare you. When you push back, with truth, with proof, with courage, it falls apart. But I still wonder, how many neighborhoods have their own Nancy? How many people keep quiet just to avoid the drama? What do you think? Was I right to push back the way I did? Or did I take it too far? Drop a comment below. I read every one.